Just to welcome you to another very interesting edition of Health Matters, a program where we discuss health issues concerning you and we try to educate you and inform you on issues that will make you live a better life and live longer. And today we have in the studio Dr. Nekeme George, who is the Executive Director of Care Life Character Foundation. And he's here and he'll be talking about teenage pregnancy. Dr. Nekeme George, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the program.
And I remain your host, Umo Basi Edit. Okay, teenage pregnancy. Recently, we went to some communities in Akwa Ibom State, and what we saw there was alarming. It was something of concern. We have a lot of babies who are carrying babies, and we've been worried. And that is why Dr. Nekeme George is here, because he was also on ground to see for himself what is happening. I don't know what is happening to our young girls that are becoming too sexually active. And so Dr. Nekeme George, Dr. George, tell us your experience when you went around the local government areas.
Okay, thank you so much for having me on the program. This is one aspect in our society that no one is talking about at the moment,
Exactly.
but it's gradually catching up with us. My personal experience when we went to the field during the Ibom Open Maternity Project across just 7 LGAs. There are, in fact, almost all the LGAs, the local government areas we went to, you would see a young child, a girl child of 15 years, between 15 and 20, being pregnant and carrying an underage child, under 5 child as well. Herself, she's a child. And we spotted a particular case of a mother with 9 children. A young mother with 9 children, and there is actually a problem over there in the communities. That shows there is a gap from the household, our communities, our churches, because these are platforms that can influence a young person. Starting from our homes, it looks as though parents are so busy these days, trying to make ends meet. This may be a silent driver to these things, because parents are not talking to their children adequately, especially a mother talking to a girl child. The best sex education starts from home, not even what is taught in school. So if you are a mother and you tell your child, look, you are approaching a particular age, you say it in the dialect that child will understand and assimilate. If you fail to do this, someone outside would advise your child for you. And the advice that that child will take from outside, we all know, will be disastrous. So parents are not doing what they are supposed to do. We come over to caregivers, teachers in school. What are we teaching these children? Thankfully, I run an organization called Care Life Character Foundation. You see, character capacity building, character is dying gradually in the society. Those days, you hear people say, if your mother does not beat you, a neighbor that sees you go wrong will beat you. But now it doesn't work that way. So, why can't we have our schools mitigate this gap? When I graduated from the university, they told me I found worthy in character and in learning. Who taught me character? So there is a gap. And this is the time we need to zoom down from the primary schools to tell these girls and also the boys, because early responsibilities of parenthood is not funny. I cannot also rule out the impact of dwindling economy. I've heard of scenarios where mothers would even encourage their girl children, attach them to a man and all of that just to bring money home. Truth is, you start at that age to kill this child's future.
Exactly.
So, irrespective of the push, the driver, you don't have food to eat, why don't you hang on a bit? One step at a time.
The parents here have failed, and then of course it's supposed to be both ways, parents and then school. So in terms of the school curriculum, do you think that we have enough to give out to the children when they get to school? Because you also have this peer pressure, especially at the secondary school level. They interact, and the information they get from their friends just makes them deformed. That is it.
You are very correct. We don't have the adequate information in our schools to actually educate our girl child. Outside Nigeria, sex education, they will even put in in a consent note to the parents that from this age, the school will teach your child with demonstrations, with dummy demonstrations, because sometimes these people need to see these things, understand the impact of these, have a visual understanding of their cycle and so many things, so as to be able to make an informed decision. I think that's a big gap in our society today, especially in our educational curriculum. But when we are talking about our educational curriculum, we are not limiting to those that are going to urban schools, we are talking grassroots here. So education, I still fall back to the societies now, is beyond the formal education. How are we outside the classroom now, where we say we are integrating sex education into our curriculum? Okay, these are the textbooks, this is time for these. At a particular class, we start teaching these girls and the boys on sex education. What can the community do to actually mitigate this? Is it possible for us to have a focal person in each community that can gather these young ladies, these young children that are coming up, and talk to them, educate them? In other societies outside the country, at least I'm experienced, we have these charities, these organizations that specifically for girls, because there is a gap. They come in, they educate these girls, they talk to these girls, they empower these girls. I think this is what we need to do. Stopping a bad character is not enough, but replacing that drive, that bad character, with something more active, more engaging is the solution to this. So, if for a girl to have, I understand the biological systems will drive you and all of that, but what you hear matters a lot. What you do matters a lot. So if my child comes back from school, not just going for lessons, maybe going for a catering experience or a peer group that they are doing tailoring and all of that, at the end of the day, the child is tired, is home. Compare it with a brother's child who probably is not in school, probably is selling on the road, or if opportune to be in school, comes back, peradventure the mother or the father is not there, they are off trying to get ends meet, the child is left alone, unmentored, unmonitored, exposed, and the child will now take any decisions that she doesn't even know the impact, the far impact of these decisions on her life. So these are the gaps we face.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. George. If you're just joining us, the program is Health Matters, and today we are discussing teenage pregnancy. We have here the Executive Director, Care Life Character Foundation, Dr. Nekene George. Okay, Dr. George, you identified the present economy as one of the factors that could contribute to this increasing and alarming rates of teenage pregnancy. Let's look at skills acquisition. Do you think there's hope if we try to engage our youths meaningfully, maybe by teaching them skills? Because you agree with me that some parents, when you talk about going to school, they will just completely rule that out, especially at the rural areas. So in terms of skills acquisition, don't you think there is hope?
Yes, there is huge hope. We cannot rule out any possible approach to mitigating these. But permit me to add to that skill acquisition, viable skill acquisition.
Okay.
The world is
What do you
moving.
mean by viable?
Thank you. A child that goes to learn how to do social media influencing positively, and a company employs that child, you can't compare that child to another person who goes in to learn how to make beads.
Okay.
How many persons are using beads
Beads.
now? How many persons are actually, that when we're talking about skills acquisition, we are still talking tailoring. I'm not saying those things don't work.
Yeah.
They do. But are they viable?
Okay.
So, even as government, charities, NGOs, and the likes are coming up with programs to engage a girl child or the male folks, we need to think about the viability, looking at the fact that the world is moving so quick. Farming can be a viable venture.
True.
Giving these people these improved seeds, teach them, give them a startup grant, and they get started. There are better ways to farm. I'm not talking about going to farm to go and use weed and. Do you know people can plant yam in their backyard using a sack bag?
Yeah.
But so many people in the grassroots are not aware. So you tell a child or you tell a mother, take your child along, get these sack bags, start planting. Within a particular cycle, money comes in. The child will see that as, whoa, this works. For me, that's more productive than taking that child to go and learn how to do beads.
Yeah.
So when we are talking skills acquisition, we should not fail to use the word viable skill acquisition. I'm using this opportunity to call on the government, call on partners. By partners, I mean implementing partners, charities, NGOs. Let us start thinking on putting up programs that will engage young people, and they actually see the product of that engagement almost immediately. There are such plans. We have programs that can yield short-term and long-term impact as well. School is one of those things that can yield long-term impact, right? But right now, with a dwindling economy, we are looking at what can a person do within a cycle of time. It produces something. It will be exciting for a young person to learn. People are paying for publicity.
True.
New companies are paying for publicity. These days you hear people talking about monetization of social media platforms or content creation and all of that. A young person can toe that direction and make it as well in life. That's it.
Okay, Dr. George, recently I also read somewhere that young girls in secondary school are being exposed to family planning. What's your take on this?
Okay, thank you. I am being very careful to talk about uptake of family planning, looking at this side of the world, our communities, and all of that. But truth is, every child, every young person has a right to decide if she should take up a particular family planning approach, if I may put it that way.
Okay.
Now, family planning uptake is very personal, because even you as adult, they will give you options.
Remember, these are teenagers we're talking about.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
In the advanced societies,
Okay.
England, US, all of those places, young teenagers are on family planning methods. Yes. They've educated them. They know when they are ready to be pregnant. That is for the sexually active ones.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not ruling out the concept of sexual purity. That should be encouraged in every aspect. But for those other ones that me talking to them about sexual purity, you still see that they are still trying to find a way around. Is it possible to just inform them, just teach them first? One or two of them may want to come and know more about it. But uptake of family planning is not restricted only to married women alone. No. Single young ladies can also take up family planning methods that they deem fit for themselves.
Okay, don't you think that introducing family planning to teenagers will rather make them promiscuous?
No.
Because they just, and then not forgetting that, okay, you're now trying to prevent them from getting pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to the sexually transmitted diseases?
Well, that's another school of thought on its own. Mm-hmm. Sexually transmitted diseases, you don't breathe in the air from the air. You have engaged in one or two things before you can get that. But you may end up just instilling fear. If you want to come from the angle of don't have sex because you'll be exposed to sexually transmitted diseases, it's real, but there is an aspect of education that you have not provided to these people. As I speak to you now, why do you think in the grassroots villages you have a mother with 9-10 children?
I don't know what.
So that means there is an information gap even to the adult. So why don't you educate them and tell them that this is the best alternative, sexual purity, but that there is something like this method, that method, that can actually also help you, prevent you from sexually transmitted diseases, prevent you from unwanted pregnancy and otherwise, and possibly make accessibility to these approaches tougher for the younger generation. Because what we are trying to achieve is sexual purity, getting them engaged, instead of thinking of being sexually active. But that should not stop you from providing the information. There is a condition too. You are coming to access family planning services. Why? Right? Yeah. At that point, you are actually assessing that person's mental capacity. Do they understand what we are talking about here? What are the pros and cons? And you can use that opportunity to educate that child and take that child back to thinking sexual purity. But for you to say you are hoarding, it's like you not talking to your child, giving sex education to your child at all. So sex education is never complete until you also expose them to all the channels of family planning updates. But let it be at the point of service delivery, whoever is the person sat there would be trained on how to handle this younger generation, because we are actually advocating for sexual purity.
Exactly, that's what the African society is known for.
That's true.
Okay, so moving on now before I let you go, because I don't think the people out there really know the negative effects of getting involved, the negative effects of this teenage pregnancy. Because a few weeks back I was in the hospital, and this VVF hospital, and it was like, we don't know why we still have cases of VVF in this time and age. So I'm sure you have I don't know if you've had any of them while in the field. Do you meet anybody with VVF?
Not actually.
Okay.
Because our target was not to that side, right? But even beyond VVF, there's a whole lot of disadvantage. Anything that is not right is not right.
Okay, so tell us more about.
So going that way of teenage pregnancy and all of that comes with loads of issues. You talked about sexually transmitted diseases. A young girl may not know. For instance, let's use gonorrhea as an example. It's asymptomatic in a girl child, in women. It's only symptomatic in men. A girl child might have been a host to gonorrhea for years without knowing, and that is killing you. Tomorrow, you cannot have a child and this or that. But some of these little early pickups was waiting for you in the far future. Outside that, the responsibilities of parenthood, early parenthood. You are supposed to go to school, you are supposed to achieve this or that. You need to stay back and breastfeed that child for at least 6 months. You need to take care of another young life that you've brought to the world. So that truncates the normal growth process of a young child. Medically speaking, a child that is sexually active very early our system has so made it that, okay, if that child has been able to, you are responsible for yourself, you've got a job, you're good, it's even to our advantage, right?
Yeah.
But when all of these other aspects are pulled out, then there is a problem. You cannot take care of yourself. What if we have complications in the pregnancy process? You are not even sure of what to do at that time. So whatever is not right can never be right, medically and otherwise. That's it. Young people, teenage pregnancy, young girls, you can never get away with it. If it doesn't strike now, the negative impact of it will strike in the near future. That's it from me.
Okay, and before I let you go, would you say the local government chairman or chairpersons, or at least that's the third chair, and they are dealing directly with these children, do you think they're doing enough?
Yes.
To tackle this?
So I will still reference the recently completed Ibom Open Maternity Project, where we enter the field through the chair ladies of each of these local government areas. And it's part of our sustainability plan that the chair lady, the wife of the LGA, should be able to lead a local task force in each of these LGAs to address these issues, these gaps. And it's also exciting to see them jump on the Ibom Open Maternity Project. We were expecting this. We've been looking for how to get this done. I was like, okay, can we gather all the chair ladies, have an operational plan, that this is what we are going to roll out in all the 31 local government areas. If you are targeting nutrition, let's go all out for nutrition. If you are targeting maternal literacy, let's go all out for maternal literacy. So the chair lady heads the task force, and we have other service providers like the nutrition, the local nutrition officer, the family planning focal person, the safe motherhood focal person in each of these LGAs, led by the chair lady to carry out these implementations. Partners are there to support you. That's it. Okay,
so on the final note, what do you have to say to our parents out there, teenagers out there, and caregivers?
All I'll have to say to our parents, caregivers in the grassroots, you are not alone. We are there for and with you. We have gone through just 7 local government areas, and we've seen that there is a gap. We are designing a program to address all of these issues at the grassroots. So we are coming for you.
Thank you so much, Dr.
You.
George. And it's been Health Matters, and we're speaking with Dr. Nekeme George, who is the Executive Director of Care Life Character Foundation. The topic was teenage pregnancy. And you know that teenage pregnancy comes with lots of complications, so you dare not expose your child to that. Try to give them the needed information so that they will be able to arm themselves properly to live in this society. Thanks for watching. Let's do it same time next week. Bye.